You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to the Precision Shooting Podcast. This is episode number 143, and my name is Rusty, and Andy is looking at me nervously. Andy, I can't look at anywhere else because no one else is in the room, mate. It's just you and I.
I just love it when you look at me like that.
Like that. I hope you guys are well. We were meant to have a special guest who was going to come down today and then ended up not feeling well today and getting off to a COVID test. So COVID tests affect more shows for us.
That's it, the old gag reflex coming at you.
Exactly, that's correct.
For those who have had a test, it does tickle the...
Oh, okay.
It does tickle the back.
I went somewhere else with that. Okay, COVID test. Excellent, good. Glad you're going well. Plushy was going to join us. Plushy is the match director for the Steel Slam this weekend, and we're going to pick his brains all about the Steel Slam and everything. But maybe we've gone one better. Because Steel Slam, for those who don't know, is an annual match happens at the Monado Club that we're involved at, Practical Shooting SA. And, I say annual, this is the second one. Mm-hmm. And it normally is the State of Origin for the Impact Dynamics Cup, which is sitting in the cupboard behind you. And that's the State of Origin between SA and Victoria.
So we win by default. That's it.
We shall earn it this weekend.
Yep.
We won it. We won it last year, so we may as well win it again this year.
That's it.
But not all the Victorians can join us to put their case forward. So tough. But anyway, we're still doing the match. We've got 20-something shooters coming along. Mexican for dinner, all that sort of thing, which is should be really good.
Yeah.
You didn't know there was Mexican for dinner, did you? You just heard that news.
Yep.
How do you feel
sounds
about
good. Oh, no.
I was going to say, how do you feel about this bombshell?
Why not have both? We having both?
Hold on. I don't know what we're having. But as I mentioned, we've gone one better than actually having Plushy. He may be on the Patreon stream, actually. I'll be careful what I say. Actually.
So we can just have a look at the stages and whinge about them.
We have the matchbook. Plushy just made the matchbook public about half an hour before we started this. So the matchbook is out there for everyone, and so we've got it. We've got it. So the benefit is we can get all the stage costs and none of the Ranger part that he would bring to it.
Yeah, so we can game it as much as we can, and then he can't correct us and tell us how he thought it should go.
Or he'll listen to this and he will be like, right, I'm just going to make some tweaks to these stage briefs, and this could be subject to change.
Yep.
Okay, this is probably not a great idea, but anyway, we'll get onto the Steel Slam shortly. There's plenty to discuss on that. But Andy, how you been, mate? Any shooting, anything? Oh, yeah, we were out the club the other weekend.
I was. Yeah, had a bit of a play, a good practice actually. Mm-hmm. I pretty much. Well, I think we did talk about it on the previous one, but I did pretty much rock up. Went straight to 500 and confirmed zero. That worked. And then I was on barricades for pretty much the whole day.
Okay.
And just got rid of a whole bunch of old ammo that I had, and just had a good solid practice sesh.
Fantastic. And you, because we had a stack of new guys out there.
We did
over the weekend, and you were helping that out. How did that go?
Yeah, really good. We had it was a really good turnout. Whole different variety of people just coming for a first go.
First time shooting a rifle through to sort of having done it a bit, but
and then people looking to get into the sport, and people trying to zero their rifle and
trying to zero. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, I eventually got there. I mean, we
helped him out.
Yeah, we did get there. But no,
you've broken that chair. You Andy has officially broken the podcast chair. Swap chairs, mate. Go break the other one as well.
That's on its way out.
You honestly look like you're holding onto that chair for dear life.
No, it's just how I sit, man.
That's just your thing. Oh, well, anyway, sorry to distract you away from whatever it is that you were talking about that was really important.
But
new shooters, that is important, actually.
Well, it was a really good weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Had quite a few long discussions about, the equipment and calibers and, people wanting to get into it and why and what they should have and, all the good stuff.
Well, is there a particular question that was coming up a lot that you recall?
what caliber, what scope.
Yep.
They were probably the main two.
That's probably the thing.
Yeah. What magnification scope do you think I should get?
Yeah.
First focal plane, second focal plane,
Yep.
mil or MOA.
Okay.
They were, they were the big ones.
And what are the answers to that really quickly? Because most of our audience will know, but some are the ones asking those questions. So what's your take on all of them? Magnification range?
I'd go something between the 4 to 5 up to 20, 25-ish.
Yep.
Mind you, at 500 metres, I'd never really go above 15 power. But having that top end helps if you need it. I go mil.
Yep.
And I go first focal plane with some sort of Christmas tree reticle. Will help you out.
Roger that. All right. No, we will no doubt get more in depth in that, but more to come. So it was a good weekend. I was up there on the Sunday. There was a whole stack of new guys. We got a lot of new shooters behind that. Maxwell and Mick, who were shooting my gun in preparation for the Steel Slam. I think we're going to hit Maxwell up shortly and get him on. And he's going with the chair swap because he was about to fall through the back of the other one.
It's hot seats.
And so those guys had about 50 or so rounds on a gun to try and get used to it, get comfortable with it. Did you spend some time with them, or Maxwell came and shot with you? A bit. How did they go? Did you see Mick at all shooting?
I didn't actually.
Okay,
I think I might have walked past him a few times, and but that was about the extent of that. Maxwell, he's keen as he's doing really well. We had a little club competition.
Yep.
And he played my 2-2-3 and did surprisingly well.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll get on to him shortly.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, one of the other things that's popped up in the last couple of weeks that is well worth mentioning to our listeners, if you haven't been aware of it, I don't know where you've been, but this is the Modern Day Rifleman Virtual Summit.
Yes.
That the guys at Modern Day Sniper, which is Phil Vallejo. Yep. And the other gentleman, I don't know, I've not met. Caitlin, I think that's how I say it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep. So these, and I know there's more behind the scenes. Oh, we're getting memed already by Plushy. He is letting us know the matchbook will be revised. So this is where you get live feedback. You get live feedback on your podcast from the person who may then go and affect changes. So if there's changes to this matchbook, we're sorry, not sorry. Let's rip into this in a minute. But anyway, not to distract us. The guys we're completely distracted now. Modern Day Sniper put together a virtual course online, or a virtual summit online, with about 25 top tier speakers, including Ryan Kleckner and Frank Galley and Regina Milkovich, Jim C, and that's just what comes to the top of my head. I'm sure there's the full list on their site, but the biggest thing, so this is over I believe a 5-day period, and they're dropping 4 or 5 speakers a day for 24 hours, if I understand it right, and I probably haven't fact-checked anything, and this is probably all wrong, but you go on and for that 24-hour period, those seminars will be available for that period, and then the next day it'll change out to the next group. This will be huge. I think it will be.
Get your notepad out, I reckon.
Yeah. And the super exciting thing is that it's free.
Yeah, solid.
You can only better that by being paid to go. So that's huge. There is a paid version. I would encourage anyone who's going to get value out of this to consider it, because obviously these guys have done a lot of work to make this all happen. And it's about $100 US at the moment. I think the price goes up as you get closer to the actual summit. But the paid version, I believe, gives you access. I think it gives you access now to it immediately. But you also then you don't get the 24-hour period. You get it for
whenever you want. Yeah, nice.
And there's a few extra bonuses and stuff like that. So this is going to be huge. And any new shooters, we were talking about spending the rest of our year talking about how to get involved. This is probably the first place to start.
Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy when you do have that option of listening back to something, you will pick up on a lot more little things that you might have missed or skipped over, or it didn't quite make sense at the time, but being able to review it again, I had to do that quite a few times with Inception. movie. I was like, what the?
Correct parallel. Great. Well done.
Perfect.
So the reason we're talking about this a fair bit is because this is huge. This is massive and needs more attention on it. So here, Andy, I've got the list of all the
Yep.
Okay, there's some big names here. I didn't even mention Jacob Bynum from Rifles Only. Is one of the speakers, and Robert Brantley, who was the king of 2 Mile, works for Manners Stocks.
Yep.
There are a number of other names that other people will know. Mark Gordon from Short Action Customs.
Yeah, a lot of faces there I recognise.
Yep, Ted
often,
from American Rifle, who the pleasure of interviewing at some point. Obviously Phil and Nick Vitalbo, who's been on this podcast as well. Ben from Proof Research, Zach Smith from Thunder Beast Arms, and there are plenty of names. There's a lot of people here, and so I would highly suggest that this is the best place. And look, even if you sign up and those dates, I think it's 28th of September to the 2nd of October, and obviously we'll be a day ahead of that here or thereabouts. Even if you only get to watch 1 or 2 or 3, it's still great value for free. So that's going to be, and they've got the schedule there of which ones are coming out on the particular days and all that sort of thing. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyway, so I want to encourage all of our listeners, viewers, and Patreon supporters to go and jump on that. That is massive, and this will be huge. I signed up, so I'm looking forward to seeing the ones that I can. Absolutely. Anyway, that's I'm very, very excited about that, and we highly encourage everyone to do that. And no doubt we'll watch through the ones we get a chance to look at, and let you guys know. I'm interested to hear what you've learnt from that summit as well. So anyway, good. All right, we're excited about that. Just wanted to tell everyone. Good. Well, we've got the Steel Slam coming up this weekend. So we've got the match book in front of us, which we'll go through. There's 9 stages here. Just check into some of those.
There better be donuts. I just read donuts.
It does say donuts on one of them. Let me see if we might see if we can get Maxwell in here. So Maxwell comes from a hunting background. Only recently got his license, and he has been super keen. I met him up hanging out with the Hunting HQ lads actually when we went up and did a talk to the ADA, and he came along and got on well. He is coming and shooting his first match, although he sort of shot a bit of a first match with you. Yep. On the weekend, and I'm just trying to. All right, let's see if we can get him on the line.
Yeah, mate, how you going?
Good, Maxwell. How you going, man?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. You are on the podcast. Andy's here as well.
How you going?
G'day, mate. How you going?
I'm good. Sounds like you're driving.
You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, all good. We can hear what you're saying. We just thought we'd give you a call. We're chatting about the Steel Slam.
Yeah,
and
I'm excited.
well, this is going to be your first match. What are you looking forward to?
Oh, what isn't there to look forward to? Obstacles, seeing what we've got to work with, really.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Had a bit of practice the other weekend with Andy lent me a rifle and yourself, but yeah, I'm excited.
So it's the other week when you had a bit of a crack shooting some stages for the first time with Andy's setup. What did you find challenging?
Probably just getting settled in and getting the nerves to settle a little bit. Once you get put on the clock, it's a bit different to sort of being out on the ute or just out shooting at a tree or a stump or something.
Yep.
So it's going to be an interesting weekend.
Yeah, because certainly when the pressure's on and just the fact that you're in front of people and you've sort of got this goal to hit and other people going in front of you, no doubt it sort of packs on this little bit of even just personal expectation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not expecting to do great, but I do expect to hit some targets. So,
yeah, excellent, mate. And what's really been the appeal? Because we met in a hunting type environment, and that was really what you were keen on. But what sort of attracted you across to giving it a go?
Just skills building, really. When it comes down to hunting, you don't want to be out there see the deer of a lifetime and same sort of thing. You get put under a bit of pressure and make a mistake and lose it. So, yeah, just skills building and just, meeting new people as well. It's always good.
Yeah, no, totally. That's definitely definitely one of the reasons why I jumped in, and it definitely improved all that sort of aspects in my shooting and getting to know everyone and all that sort of gear.
Yeah, nice. Do you obviously you've come using a lot of hunting rifles as where you've kicked off with, but the guns you've been lent so far have been very different to perhaps what you have hunted with. What have you found that sort of challenging, or has that been just fluid and haven't really sort of noticed a difference? Or tell us about that.
Oh, the differences are unreal. Just trying to the weight mainly. Is a bit different to the old three-way sporter. But the way they settle down on a bipod and all that, it's unreal.
Now, do you know that the match book has been released for the match already?
No, I didn't actually.
You'll probably see that in your email tonight.
No worries. I'll probably not sleep all night reading it then.
Yeah. You won't get any sleep, that's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't really looked through it much yet, and we're about to go through it on the show. But what do you think you're going to struggle with the most this weekend?
Probably that wobble board if it gets pulled out again. To be honest, it looks pretty sketchy.
Did you have a shoot on it?
No, I didn't. I didn't want to waste any ammo, but I did have a feel of it. So. Yeah.
I don't know if it's in there actually. I'm not sure if it's in this match, but
That's all right. Revised match book coming out.
Yeah, but Plushy is actually watching us live, so I suspect he will just add it in there just for you, mate.
Oh, awesome! Thanks for that, Plushy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, nice, mate. And what do you like? What are you feeling confident about? I mean, obviously, wind you back just a second, but last weekend you came out and you put about 50 rounds and probably a stack of dry fire through the gun that you were shooting for the match. Previous to doing that and then after doing that, did you get a lot more comfortable, or what changed?
Yeah, shooting from the barricade became a lot more comfortable, and just getting settled in behind the gun and just remembering to get my feet apart and actually lean into it and not try and shoot it like a hunting rifle from a standing position. I'm pretty confident in the barricades and prone, but yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what else is going to get thrown at me, and looking forward to trying to beat it.
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. I think that's been the really good thing about yourself, and that's why we've sort of really wanted to get your take on some stuff. And you'll might be starring in some Instagram stories post this weekend on Impact Dynamics. But love the attitude that you're bringing to it, and that attitude of, well, it doesn't matter where I finish or what I hit, but I want to get better as I go. And we certainly, watching you shoot, and you and Mick as well, who is in the same scenario as you. Shooting on the weekend, from when you started to when you finished up, you seemed much more confident in what you were doing.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and having Mick there to work with as well, someone who's sort of just coming into the sport side of things as well.
What you were doing.
We could sort of just bounce ideas off each other and pick each other up on things that we thought were doing each other wrong. So, it's good.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question, because there was two of you who haven't shot a match before, and this is your first go, and you're both using the same gun. It must have some benefits, as you said, to be sort of sitting there and having someone watching you. I think I pointed that out to you when we were down there to comment on each other and provide that feedback to each other. Even though you're both fairly fresh, like you will see something when you're watching someone do it. It's actually easier to pick up some of the mistakes than when you were doing it. Isn't that right, Andy?
Yeah, sure is.
Sorry, Max. So how did that go for you?
It was really good. Yeah, again, he picked me up on putting my feet in a bad position a few times, which was good, and yeah, just being able to help each other spot and remember to dial and go over those sorts of things. Just the little things that you can sort of remind each other of is good. So.
Andy is furiously writing notes right now. He's like, "Oh, I remember to dial."
Yeah, yeah. Remember to dial, and I'll make sure that you shoot first, so I've got some good data.
Yeah, well, we did have to run that drill a few times on the weekend for wins, so appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No, awesome, mate. Well, looking forward to it, and for those who are at home and want to see Maxwell's prowess with a rifle after 50 rounds of training, you'll be able to catch some of his stages, I'm sure, on the stream that we're going to be doing through the Impact Dynamics on Instagram.
There's no pressure there.
No pressure at all.
Yeah, it's done.
And then we'll film Andy and show everyone how it's meant to be done. Hey, Andy.
But how it's not meant to be.
Awesome, mate. Well, cheers for taking the call, mate, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yeah, no worries. I'll catch you guys then. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate.
So, yep.
Love the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, top bloke.
It was good to have. So that's what we're planning. And so just a little bit on that, we thought that because there's not a lot of matches going on.
Yep.
Obviously, the crew in Victoria just sitting home doing not a lot as they are, and so we're really going to make a big focus this weekend on the Impact Dynamics channels, on the Instagram stories, which then turns into Facebook stories, to really follow the match.
Yep.
And so what you don't know is we're going to film a bunch of your stages and Maxwell's and probably Mick's as well, and then someone else in that squad.
Yep.
And be able to present, like someone who's done it new, and then you doing it, and then what they can pick up from you, and all that sort of thing, so that the guys at home who are maybe haven't shot their first match as well can sort of see sort of both ends of that as well, and see how it plays out. And I think we just got a message saying it's the weather could be quite interesting. Weather gear may be something to to consider this weekend.
Righto, the gumboots. Bring out the gumboots. I can just picture with those streaming the match, like filming someone and be like, "No, you're doing it like that, are you?" Okay.
Isn't that one of the greatest ways to get inside someone that you walk up to and go, you're like, "Oh, you run your rifle like that, do you?" Okay.
That's not going to work.
Well, no, you don't even need to say that, Andy. You just, oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Just smile and nod and walk away. That's it.
Oh, well. Speaking of interesting, let's get into this, Andy. Let's have a little look at this matchbook that Plushy has put together, and let's see where we go. You like donuts? You can start on stage 1, mate. Give us a bit of a rundown of what we are expecting to see.
Yeah, right. Donuts, not bullseyes.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
That's my plan for the entire day. But anyway.
Righto. So on this one, we're going to have just one bag and bipod only.
Okay.
600 millimeter bullseye at 500 meters with a center bullseye target. So
with no center bullseye.
No center bullseye.
This
is donuts, not bullseye. Right.
Yeah, this is a target with a big hole in the middle.
Yeah, I should know this, seeing as I'm supplying the target.
All right, good.
Right. Shooter will start port arms, magazine inserted, and action open.
It feels so weird reading stage briefs again.
It does. What is this? This doesn't make sense. On the start signal, the shooter will move to the first of 3 shooting positions. The shooter will engage the target with 3 rounds per position. Only impacts on the donut will count. Bullseye are great, but count for nothing. The shooter will then move to the second position and engage the same target with 3 shots. Finally, the shooter moves to the third position and engages the same target with 3 shots. Shoot to move. So it's 3 positions, 3 shots per position. Is that how I'm reading it?
That's it, and you're on a. So for those who are not maybe familiar with what a bullseye gong is, it's a big round gong with a hole that would normally have another plate behind it. That is usually the goal that you're trying to do, and often we've seen all sorts of scoring mechanisms where you get more points for the centre ball and less for the outside, or nothing for the outside, or minus, or whatever it is. And then this one's a different take on it. I don't think we've shot like this, where the hole is literally a hole. Yeah. So you have. You have a much smaller target face.
Well, my game plan is to hold centre.
That'll probably work for you.
And that will probably work.
I was curious to know where on this target you would hold. That becomes now, because obviously, that now becomes quite a conundrum because the target you really can't guarantee that centre bit. I mean, how annoying would it be to put one straight through the centre, and then you could be as much as you'd like to be like, oh, but if but if it had a target there, I would have hit. But it doesn't have a target there. You got nothing.
You got nothing.
Yeah. So where do you hold? How do you aim to shoot this one?
If there's going to be any sort of wind from any direction, I'm pretty well, except 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. If it's any crosswind, I'm going to hold centre pretty well. Because I think from memory, it's roughly a 0.5 mil size target. So anywhere from 5 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour up to that 10
you're
will
basically,
push me off.
You're going to basically be trying to shoot the edge of the donut, like one side, either left or right, and just the edge.
Yep.
Can I throw a different tactic to you then?
Go for it.
I would probably be trying to hold below the big gap in the middle where you've got the widest part of the target now. You're not as high, but we're only talking 500, so you probably got your elevation fairly sorted.
Yeah.
And so you're if you're looking at a circle, you're probably aiming at about maybe 4 o'clock, and then you've got the whole width of the target. Not quite as big as the centre, but you've got a lot more than the edge of the circle that you're talking about. If wind's the big problem, obviously if your elevation, you would reverse that, and you'd probably aim at like a 11 o'clock or a 1 o'clock, so you've got as much drop as you need. Maybe if you didn't know the distance or your data wasn't great.
Yes, so you're essentially like going to be aiming at either like a corner. If you think of
I'd be like at the base of that hole in the center. I'd be like cutting the target off from there up, or there down, but there up, and then using that as that is my target, because you can't. I don't think you can treat that as a whole target anymore.
No,
because there's just too much of a gap in the middle that can. That doesn't work on podcasting.
It's about a 200 mil hole.
Yeah.
So that is a fair chunk.
But it's in centre, so if you're trying to treat it as a normal target, you're losing that main key part where you would actually hit. So anyway, that's probably the way I'd be aiming.
Rush the shot and I'll pull it.
Wonderful. All right, good. Stage 2. Dial it like the Stevens. Emma and Andrew, I suspect we are referencing here. All right, unlimited gear. We've got all sorts of targets: 260, 320, 385, 450, and 500. Somewhere between a 200 millimeter out to a 50% IPSC. Shooter will start in the prone position behind the rifle with magazine inserted and bolt open. This stage simulates a scope failure, something the Stevens are familiar with. Oh, Plushy getting the digs in. Oh, look at him being harsh. Love it. The stage officer will wind on 2 mil of elevation, 7 MOA if appropriate, if you're using one of those things. On the start, signal shooter is to engage each of the 5 targets near to far hit to move. They may not touch the elevation on their scope and must hold over or under as appropriate. After all 5 targets are impacted, the shooter must reverse the order and engage the 5 targets far to near. Right, what do you think of that one?
What?
So,
I get it. Yeah, I get it. So pretty well, once you've got your data, you're pretty well going to be minusing.
You're offsetting by
2 mil.
By 2. I wonder. Okay, so winding on 2 mil. Yeah.
So you take off 2 mil. So if your first target's at 260 meters, which would be roughly 0.5, maybe 0.6 for me, I'll be holding under a fair way.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got
anything above your
above my crosshairs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be interesting for you.
Hold bottom edge.
Yeah. And Plushy's now going to change it to a bullseye target with a big hole in the middle. So
That's
just
it.
to make it real tough. Yeah. Okay. Interesting, Drew. It will certainly. I think this one is going to catch a few guys out.
Oh, definitely.
In a way where obviously the offset that you're dialing is going to be known. So it's not like you have to sort of work out where your hits are and then self spot on. But I think it is. I think we're going to see guys go the wrong way.
Yep.
I think they're going to hold the wrong way, not quite.
Yep. Or forget about it and forget to minus it. Or
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. So it's an interesting stage because, yes, you certainly you do end up with a gun that's offset or something's not quite right, or you're running a secondary ammo in your gun and you've got to manually offset it.
Yeah, different zero, essentially. Yep.
Okay, good. Stage 3. That's you.
Yep, I'll do that one.
Plushy was going to do it, but he's not here. He's gone all quiet on us.
That's it. The KYL OMARC style.
Uh-huh.
Right, this sounds like it's going to be fun. So we're at another range of targets, unlimited equipment. We've got 260.
Same targets as stage 2.
3 targets.
Yeah,
same. 260, 320, 385, 450, 500.
Righto.
Stage brief. Shooter will start prone behind rifle with mag inserted, bolt back and hands on the ground. On the start signal, the shooter will retrieve 1 round from the ammo box, 10 meters behind the. Oh, that's a long way. 10 meters behind the firing line.
Oh no, this is the wrong one button.
We'll try that again.
It's going to take me a moment to change it over. So there we go. That's what I was going for. Right.
Load their rifle and engage them near target with 1 round. The shooter may only retrieve 1 round at a time and must hit to move. The shooter can elect to stop at any time and keep their score. If the shooter misses, they lose the points acquired. Return to the first target and start over. Targets are shot in order near to far, and targets 5 to 10 are 50%. 5 and 10?
5 to 10.
5 to 10 are 50% IPSC at 500 meters.
Yep. So there's 10 shots round.
10 shots. Yeah, okay.
Is it? It must be
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. So you start near to far, and once you get out to the 500 meters,
you stay on that for up to 10 rounds.
Yep.
Up to 5 additional rounds. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So yeah, KOL rules, which because we're running at club level, it can still count, which is excellent. What do you think you will do? What's you have to see how the wind's going out there, I suspect.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get the first 5 rounds off, what have we got here? 120 seconds. Yeah, it's a lot of running back and forth.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna try and take my time and just get those first 5 impacts.
Yep. And if you're on to that 5th one, then just rattle it home as you go along.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a fair bit of getting up, running back.
You sound tired already, mate.
Yeah. Thanks, Plushy.
All right, all the bags. So you get a bunch of supplied bags. There is another array of targets from 200 metres out to 500 metres, although they're a little bit smaller on this one. So shooter will start with a rifle on the ground in the starting box, magazine inserted bolt back. On the start signal, shooter is to take each of the 10 bags and place on the barricade they intend to use them from. Oh, I like this. The car door, the tree have 2 positions each. The remaining barricades have 1 position each. We will see what they are. The shooter must only use the bag they have placed at each barricade. They may use their bipod, but it cannot touch the ground. The bag must be used as part of the shooting position. Targets must be engaged in order of near to far with 2 shots per range. The order of barricades is up to the shooter. I like it.
Yeah. I remember a similar stage, and I really liked it, but I did really bad at it.
Good. Was that the one at the finale?
It was.
Where it was a hidden stage? And so, so you that one was a bit different where you had a tripod and a couple other things in the mix. And you had to, I think you had to decide which items were being used on which ones without actually seeing, like having time to spend working it out.
I think you got a bit of a glance to see what was there,
a walkthrough or a flash or something like that, and then you can make a decision quickly.
Yeah, and
then you had to commit to whatever it is that you decided.
Yeah, that's it.
And I suspect this will probably run similar. It may not be a blind stage, but you will go and put your items on your various things.
Yep.
And I can. I'm sure it's not anything malicious, but Plushy was asking for fortune cookies and all that sort of stuff before, and pump pillows and stuff. So I imagine he's just got a selection of bags and a bit of variety in that mix, and that's what you guys will have to do. Is there any tactics that you would apply in this scenario as to what bags are going to go where?
Other than watching other people do it first.
Maxwell's up first on this one.
That's it. It's a tough one without seeing, but in terms of if it's any sort of loose or wobbly barricade, I would almost go if there is an option of some sort of rear support bag. Say you've got a backpack and you've got a loose wobbly barricade, use that backpack as a rear support.
Yep.
If it's a stable support, say if it's a car door, which I assume would be pretty stable, then just a game changer on that would be probably.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess there's the way to look at it where you're trying to make every position as stable as possible.
Yep.
Or you go down the path of, well, I'm going to, if I put these X bags, these 5 bags in those 5 positions, they will be rock solid.
Yep.
And I'm almost guaranteed to get those points.
Yep.
And then as the targets get further and the positions maybe get a bit worse. Like there's a real balancing act there. Do you go, okay, I don't know, this pump pillow is not going to be really great in I haven't found a position it's going to be good for in this scenario, because it's a good support bag, not one to shoot from.
Yep.
And so I'm just going to shoot the closest target with this one first up, but then maybe you miss that because it really isn't great. You should have just made that the last one and just, if I get it, great, and if not,
Yep. Almost sacrifice a couple of shots to guarantee
the others. Yeah. So really, depending on the scenario that this looks at, I think this could be very telling of how you go about it.
You always make it more confusing for me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good. We're going to do some coverage of this stage on the weekend, and so
it's a
if
fun
you are,
one.
if you are watching, we're going to be asking you guys what bags should be used on what stages. Andy, are you going to be willing to listen to our viewers and just take their recommendations blindly on the day?
Oh yeah, why not?
I love it.
Well, let's be honest.
Good.
I'm like,
You're not
I'm
going to
just having fun.
All right, so Andy will shoot based on the audience reactions on Instagram on the day. I love it.
You know, what's the worst that could happen? Like
You could miss. Maxwell could beat you.
Donuts.
All right, stage 5. This one's yours, mate.
Yep. So we got skills support. Time is 60 or 90 seconds.
Wow.
So I guess we're depending on
something.
We'll find out.
Rounds are 8 or unlimited. So again.
Okay. 50% IPSC at 360 meters.
Okay.
Shooter will start port arms, magazine inserted, and bolt open.
Oh, here we go. I'm reading ahead, sorry.
Sorry, I'm a bit slow, am I?
Hurry up.
Shooter must nominate if they intend to shoot the stage on their strong side or support side. Right.
There it is.
If the shooter nominates strong side, they have 8 rounds and 60 seconds to engage the target with 2 rounds from each of the 4 positions on the skills barricade. If the shooter nominates support side, they have unlimited rounds and 90 seconds to hit the target with 2 rounds from each of the 4 positions on the skill stage. Support side includes trigger hand. So full support side.
Yep. Full support side, unlimited rounds, 90 seconds, or 8 rounds, 60 seconds on your strong side.
Either way, you're pushing, aren't you?
What are you doing?
Pushing.
Okay. I've just ruined my plan. Like this would have been a really good one to leave to a vote on the day.
I reckon.
We're not going to do it to you for 2 stages. So
I reckon what I might do on that one is go strong side because it's unlimited equipment. I might have to throw in a bit of practice with the tripod as a rear support.
Ooh,
and
okay.
Just get that follow up shot real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Okay. All right. That's
watch this space.
There we go. Yeah. What about a new shooter? What about someone like if Maxwell or Mick on the weekend comes to you and goes, oh, Andy, what do you think I should do here? What's your advice to them going to be?
For a new shooter, I would probably stick with strong side.
Yep.
Because I know going support side for someone who hasn't done it before can be like a complete throw off.
Yeah.
It can mess you up. Like, what hand goes where? What am I doing here?
Yep.
Yeah, I think even though it's a shorter time and ammo quantity restriction, at least you're going to feel more comfortable and you might get 50% hit ratio. So
yeah, whereas you might get 2 shots off with your support side if you're really struggling to build a position if you haven't practiced it.
Yep.
I think that's probably pretty sensible advice.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all right. All right. Stage 6, Hangman's Noose. This is 90 seconds. And before we get into this one, we're going to try a little thing that we got sent. So we got sent a Indo Snake, which is like a little bore camera, I guess. And we haven't got this working yet, but we're gonna see if this is gonna work for us. So
we're doing it live.
We're doing it live. We honestly got actually Plushy just messaged me and he raised a good point. I don't know if you saw the rules of the match.
Nope.
I'm going to come back to that shortly.
Rules?
Yep.
Rules.
Rules. So we'll come back to that one in a moment. Indo Snake. So Indo Snake sent it to us. They just messaged us on Instagram and said, hey, can we send you one of these? So sure, if you want to. So we don't really know much about them or what it is, but it's a little bore snake, and it's a Wi-Fi one, or you can plug it into your phone. But I'm going Wi-Fi because it doesn't have a connector for a iPhone.
Now, by bore snake, what do you mean? Because that sounds like you're cleaning it.
Oh, yeah. Bore scope. Bore scopes are the words I was meaning to say. Well picked
scope,
up on.
Snake.
Bore snake scope.
Wow.
So I believe I'm connected now. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we can see. So I've got my 2D3 here that the boys are going to use on the weekend.
Oh, thank God. I was worried I'd have to bend over.
Well, that could be the follow-up episode. All right.
Come join us for the weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to go away from the mic for a sec. You guide us through that, Andy. Yeah, have a look on the phone, and I'll push the cable down.
I see a bit of rifling. I see the light.
Oh, we're in. So what?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Is it giving you a good picture?
It's a little bit grainy. From my eyes, bit grainy.
Oh, hang on. There's I think a setting to adjust how much light is in there, which is going to improve the picture.
Quality.
How we look in there.
That has cleared it up. Yeah, it has definitely.
That's the most amount of light we've got. So, it allows you to see. Can you make an assessment? It probably needs a clean. Is probably what we're saying. There's one or two apps that we could be using. It's giving a similar result. But yeah, I can see that the bore needs cleaning. I'm not seeing anything too scary in there. Yeah, keep on pushing it in, Andy. Go full squat.
Not again.
Not again. Seems all right. We might have to play with this. We might snap some pictures out of this thing. I assume I can take a screenshot of some sort. Let's try that out. We'll, can do that. And videos, and I'm not sure. There's two apps that you can get. Well, there's four apps you can get. Only two of them that work. Let's see if I can do this. Yep. It's taking photos. Oh, that's easy. Yeah, excellent. It seems fine. I've used other bore scopes and they do give a better picture than this. But this is probably a quick assessment. I have no idea what these things are worth. Maybe we'll report back on that at the end of the show of what they're actually worth.
You got the picture there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be very useful to pick up if you've got any type of burrs or things like that. You'd
be able to see that, and you can see the copper on the barrel. So, yeah, I guess we'll keep playing with it. We might do a little video on it.
Nice.
And share it out. So thanks, Indo Snake. Cheers for the thing. We'll get back to you with more details as to whether we love it or whether it's all right, and maybe we'll take it up on the weekend, allow a few guys to run it down their barrel.
You can see how much rust I've got.
Yeah, exactly. All right, very good. Well, let's get back into it. Just to be clear that they sent it to us. They haven't paid us for anything, but they've given us one to try with. We can say what we like about it. So far, it seems to do what it says it does. More assessment to come.
Sounds good.
Yeah, easy. All right. What I was referring to that Plushy pinged us on is right at the beginning. Just read the first page there when you were talking about using your tripod. Just match rules to know.
Match rules.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tripods to be deployed and attached on the clock if used. Max 10 rounds can be loaded in magazine regardless of capacity. Well,
so your 60 seconds set up, deploy tripod and shoot your 8 shots might be...
Yeah, I know it takes me about 15 to 20 seconds to open up that tripod and pull out the legs.
Okay. All right.
That's not going to work.
Decide. Hangman's Noose. We've got large targets at 200, 300, 385 and 500, which are our mounds at the range. Shooter start port arms and magazine setter back in the starting position. On the start signal, shooter will move to the post and engage the targets in order of near to far. Shooter must impact the targets 2 times to progress to the next target. The rifle must be through the noose. Oh, okay, look out. So there must be a post with some rope hanging down through the noose, and the noose must form the front support of the rifle. The bipod may not touch the ground. Shoot to move. But you've got to hit the target, so it must be hit to move. Might want to check that, Plushy. Hit to move. I think you've got to make 2 impacts to progress to the next target. Anyway, all right. Have you shot anything like this, like a dangling target?
Or some sort of rope
Dangling
or
target, you know what I mean? Dangling shooting
support.
position.
Yeah. There's a few different ways to go about it, whether you push into the rope or into the strap or whatever it is to try and take up any slack, or just let the gun freely hang under its own weight. Depending on how it's hung and how much slack there is, and if you push it forward, you might be taking a few steps to take up the slack. So
or you can, I've seen guys who have like twisted the arrangement so it sort of it tightens itself up before putting the gun in. Obviously not putting the gun in and just spinning it around until it's tight. So that could be an option as well.
If there is a weight, you said it's a noose, so I'm assuming you can just slide your rifle into the loop and let it hang. So definitely wherever that rope is, make it the furthest point forwards of your rifle and then try and support the back of it.
Okay. Can you bipod only, so you can't use a tripod on the rear?
No, but
okay.
I want to hope that you could either sit maybe or I don't know.
Don't talk about it. I mean, it wouldn't be a very effective hangman's noose if you had to sit underneath.
That's true. But
right.
Yeah, it's to have the rope in the balance point or in the center point of the rifle. It's going to be quite unstable. I think.
So you really stack it forward, push that rope forward, and then hang back. Yeah, okay. We'll see how that goes. When it talks about those 200, 300, 385, and 500, that means we are going from sort of almost the far right-hand side of the range all the way across to sort of nearly the far left-hand side. So you still need, whatever you do here, you've got to be able to put a lot of swing into
pan across.
Pan across the entire range to be able to do it, which will be good fun stage because that will change your wind over that sort of variation depending on what the wind's doing.
Definitely.
Certainly could play a factor. So that's a good one. Excellent. Stage 7, this one's yours, mate.
Yeah, Tower of Tyres. So we've got a 90-second time, 12 rounds, one bag and one bipod only. We're shooting a 360-metre gong, square. Shooter will start port arms, magazine inserted, and bolt back in the starting position. On the start signal, the shooter will move to the tyre stack and engage the target with 2 shots per position. There are 6 marked positions. The rifle, bag, or bipod may not touch the ground. Shoot to move.
Right.
So I guess there's 6 positions off some tyres. Don't touch the ground.
Okay. Seems fair. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Easy. One target.
Nothing too complex about that stage. That's always nice when it's fairly easy and something you can understand. Oh, this one sounds like my life. It's all downhill from here.
It is
stage 8.
I was going to say, it is funny how sometimes you get those stages that
they read really easy.
Yeah.
And then they're not.
Yeah. Read easy and you're like, oh yeah, easy, I got that sorted. And then you've glanced over something that's makes it tricky.
So you're saying we should just read that?
Oh no, not this one. This one's easy.
Mark those words on.
I mean, I can understand it easy.
That's it. You could get there and it can be completely, you're like, oh, wow, that's not what I imagined. Although the course of fire is pretty stock standard. So. Okay, good. All downhill from here. These are same sort of distances, 200, 300, 385, 500, and then something else at 200. But these are slightly smaller targets than we've just shot. Shooter start port arms, magazine inserted, action open, unlimited equipment, couple of minutes to shoot this one, 8 rounds. On the start signal, shooter will move to the sloped platform and engage the target in order of near to far with 2 shots per target. And finally, the small target at 200 metres. Shooter must be completely on the platform while shooting. All equipment to be deployed on the clock. Tripods must start detached from the rifle. Shoot to move. So this is obviously on an angled or inclined platform, but it doesn't tell us which way that platform is inclined because we've certainly regularly seen, both forward, reverse, and either side. Yeah. So this could go any way.
And I'm terrible at all of them.
I was about to ask, if you had one of them, which one would you prefer to shoot from?
If I did have one, it would be you'd say incline. You put your bag at the top and then maybe a pump pillow at the back.
Yep, and so that's with the platform sloping back and you sort of sit on that as opposed to the angle sort of sloping down range.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a relatively easy one. Yeah, because the sloping down range is much harder.
Yeah, it is
We
tricky.
shouldn't have brought it up because Plushy will now change it. But anyway.
Yeah, the sloping down range is
the best. That's so easy. That's
easy.
the one we want. Yeah, definitely do that.
You could do that freehand.
Whatever. Yeah, don't even need anything. All right. Now, hopefully he's turned it off. So you're really hoping that it's
it's
the other way around.
It is, yeah.
What do you? So what with the new guys that are going to be with you that probably haven't shot off something like this? Let's just take the guess that they haven't. What are you going to be suggesting to these guys to consider when they're going to approach this stage? Because it is a unique. They're a unique thing to shoot from if you haven't done it before.
Yeah, you will feel uncomfortable and probably.
Well, I mean, they're going to be in a squad with you, so that's sort of taken for granted. But
yeah, and they'll be full squat on the platform. so
they will be, I guess. Yeah.
So they'll be on their knees.
Full squat.
But yeah, you will have. You want to try and maximise front and rear support because most chances are you won't get a solid shoulder position.
With the rifle into your shoulder, will be wavy a bit. Yeah. Okay.
Just because the way you're sort of on the platform hunched over, you sort of want the rifle to be stable by itself, and then you're just trying to put your head behind it.
Gotcha. And let's say if this platform is reversed, so it's the one that you don't want, and Plushy is the one that he doesn't want, where the slope is sort of down range, so to speak. That's where I'm thinking he might go that way because he's mentioned tripods, and we don't generally see tripods on the other way. But when you do it this way, you often will sit back onto that board and use the tripod to support and shoot from there. It takes a little bit to deploy, and you've got to angle your legs a fair bit, but it's quite possible. What would change in your advice in that regard?
It's a tricky one. Is if you are going to use a tripod, get familiar with the tripod in terms of getting your rifle in and out of it or clipping in and out. Again, you're not going to get a solid shoulder position. Your head's going to be awkwardly on the tilt probably. Yeah, you know how it is. You sort of it's not ideal. Either that or you can, without a tripod, because they can be a little bit difficult to set up on the clock if you're not familiar with it. You're sort of lying on your side on the platform with a backpack or a pump pillow. So you'd be sort of like in the fetal position on the side of the platform, and you put a.
And if you don't start in that position, you'll probably end up in it. Yeah,
that's it.
Just keep missing and just start screaming for mum that you don't want to go to school.
Yeah, that's it. So you'll be again in an awkward position. You put a pump pillow or your backpack on top of your legs, which will sort of raise the front, and it's hard to explain without like photos or.
Well,
try and watch someone else do it first.
Good. Google that. Yeah. Look that up on YouTube. Yeah, for sure. All right. Very good. We are on to the last one. Stage 9.
Stage 9.
Practice.
Practice pays off.
Pays off. Yeah, go for it.
Sometimes. 90 seconds, 10 rounds, 1 bag and 1 bipod only. We've got 2 350mm gongs at 500 metres.
So sizable targets then. Yeah,
not bad.
That always makes it concerning when you're like, they're pretty solid targets.
Yeah, I got a feeling this one's going to be crap.
This is going to be practice doesn't pay off in this regard because having practiced whatever it's about to say.
That's it. All right, shooter will start port arms, action open, 3 metres back behind the benches, or back from the benches. Shooter will place a mag on each bench with 5 rounds loaded. On the start signal, the shooter will move to the left bench, insert the mag, and engage the right target with 1 round. Shooter will then drop the mag and move to the right bench, insert the mag, and engage the left target with 1 round. I can see that's going to throw some people off. Shooter will drop the mag, move to the left bench, and repeat the process until runs out of 10 rounds. Time or they run out of 10 rounds.
Right. Well, we've certainly seen stages like this, which is really about mag handling and position building positions really quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to find these ones fun. I feel as if I do it right at them.
Yep.
I think one of the big things on this one will be how far apart those targets are and target identification.
And how far the benches are.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that can change it from a super comfortable run to like I've got to get my ass moving on this stage.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things I see often with this sort of stage where you've got like a rhythm to it, so you're shooting here and then you down bang that, and you go through this like process and probably it's aptly named.
Yep.
Where if you do practice this, you can get very fast at this transition and putting your mag in and taking you around and all that sort of thing. But you see it so many times, and often quite good shooters, but they just fumble on one little step, and then that just puts them out, and they sort of feel like behind the eight ball for the remainder, and it's can be very difficult to recover mid stage.
Yeah, I've definitely got a video out there of you throw that mag in and you realise that it's in backwards. Or it drops out. Like put it in, you don't push it in hard enough, and it drops out.
Yeah, and then you click, and then you're on a dry. On a dry fire. Or no, what's it called? 30-second wait. Anyway, yeah, hang fire. That's the word.
Yep,
hang fire from not actually having any ammo in there, which you've still got to wait for.
Yep. So that can suck, but and probably I'd say on this one, because they're two different targets, is really target identification. Make sure you're not zoomed in too far that you go for the wrong target.
Yeah, especially because these targets are really good chance that they're the same target, and there's a really good chance if you can see both of them in the same one, then in the same field of view, that's going to be a bit easier. But if you're zoomed in so far, or they're far enough apart, it's a bit harder to ID which one you're on.
Yep.
You could easily end up on the wrong one.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing that might make this a little bit more challenging, not that I'm trying to give Plushy ideas, but if you wanted to, our range is pretty notorious that the 300 metre and the 385 metre berms look the same. And you can set up the same targets on either. And because, if you put it in the middle of the berm, if you're wound up to even 15 power, you can think you're on the other berm. We see it all the time in the rimfire stuff, because those berms all do blend into each other. But so you could mess this up real quick by putting one at 385, one at 300, and having to work out which one you're on. Whereas both being on 500 across, from left to right is somewhat identifiable. You can tell if you're on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. So not that I'm saying, Plushy, you should, because then we're changing distance and we got to dial and all that sort of stuff. But that's one way you could up this a little bit more difficult, which I think you'd catch a few people out on not paying attention.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but we've probably got quite a few new shooters, so let's perhaps not do that.
This
time round.
I'd say something to be cautious about that is if you're a new shooter, running one direction, you'll be fine at, because you're used to running in that direction.
Good point.
And sort of when you go to typically from moving from the right-hand bench back to the left-hand bench.
Yep. It can be a tendency
to you're trying to run backwards, or you're going to try and turn around and possibly flag.
Yeah.
So you make sure you take your time.
Yep.
Don't trip up on yourself.
Well and truly, yeah, certainly I've seen guys do that. They're running the right-handed, so that the gun sits across their body as they run, from left to right. But when they come back, they've got to be super conscious to keep that gun pointing down range.
Yeah,
because you don't want to. You want to have like a really good run, get 6 shots off, all hitting, and then point the gun down range, and that's 0 for that, and that's you're
possibly
out for
the day. Yeah.
Possibly the day, depending on the scenario. Absolutely. So. What do you think, mate? Overall, you're looking for. I mean, you're probably just looking forward to getting out and shooting.
Yeah. I am a bit nervous, to be honest, as well. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it has been a while, and
there's some dudes who have been been shooting the club matches fairly regularly and
putting in a lot of practice. And I haven't been.
Yeah, good way to cover yourself.
That's it. Excuses
already. Yeah. Okay. Oh well. Good.
Yeah. So I've just got a shot out barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I've just bought a gamer plate. I don't really know how to use.
Yep.
My Schmedium bag's pretty new. I don't know. Yep.
Good.
What else? I've noticed my optics getting a bit blurry lately.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
I've just come up with a ballpark round. I don't know the load data on it.
Yep. And you've been working a lot recently, so you look pretty tired.
Yeah. I've been working lots. I just updated the Kestrel software, so.
No, you've got Snake. That's a win. That's a win. You can't claim that.
Well, I haven't uploaded my profile.
We're going to have to find out. Should we run a side Snake tournament?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, we'll do that. We'll for the guys who are coming to the match.
Who's got the longest snake?
Not even that. Let's include everyone who's got Kestrel with Snake on it. But or if you've got a Nokia 5110, I will also count that.
Yeah.
If over the course of Saturday during the match, play Snake and send us a photo of your score.
Yep.
Right, and we will take scores from the match, and we'll take scores from the listener, and we'll get a stage 1 hat sent out to you.
That's pretty good.
Something like that. Yeah. All right, let's do that. So the Precision Shooting Podcast Snake Kestrel competition. In fact, let's open it up. Let's make it the whole weekend. So during the match on the Saturday, and then we'll include Sunday as well. So guys in Victoria who've got nothing else to do, now you have a chance to win a prize from a shooting match.
Get snaking.
Get snaking. Right, and so that we'll extend that to the guys overseas. So wherever you are, let's see your snake scores on the Kestrel or the Nokia 5110. In fact, bonus 1 point if you're on a Nokia 5110.
Should there be a date validation on there, because they could have old photos of old scores?
Yeah, there should, but it hasn't been out that long. Okay, not Nokia 5110. All right, this is only a Kestrel. Fine, you've just pulled it apart. This is a Kestrel 5700 Elite.
If you haven't got one,
version.
get one.
Yeah, that's what a great excuse to buy one. You could get a free hat.
Thanks for listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast. To continue the discussion, check out our Facebook page. And for more information, head to our website, www.precisionshootingpodcast.com.au. This episode was brought to you by Impact Dynamics.